Hey everybody, Papa Todd Takes. I'm Papa Todd. I'm going to talk about Caitlyn Clark and the WNBA and what the hell's going on. All right. Either Caitlyn Clark is hurt or she's not. Okay? That's our starting point. If she's hurt and it's been lingering on for 2 flippin' years, which it appears to be, why do you keep playing her? Why don't you just sit her and get her rest and get her fully healed up other than trotting her out? Or is that so you guys can keep trying to keep some asses in your seats, which you're quickly losing? Because that seems to be pretty stupid and short-termed, right? Or is she not hurt? And then why in Sam hell are you not playing her? Because she's openly said it isn't her decision. It's somebody else's decision. If that's not the case, then I think there's something pretty nefarious going on as far as you guys trying to hurt her stats, keep her down somehow, whatever like that, so you can keep holding her hostage. I'm not watching the game tonight because God knows she's on some 20-minute restriction, 20 to 25-minute restriction. What, are we going to watch her, what she did the other night? And I know Stephanie White, the bozo bimbo she is, right? She's like, Stephanie, if you're going to play your system, and Caitlyn Clark is not a role player. She is a star athlete. That's how it works with some people. And if you can't adjust to that, you're personally responsible for killing the career of the potentially the best player the WNBA has ever seen. Potentially. I didn't say that she is, but I'm saying potentially. But right now, she's average at best. When I'm watching the games now, when you play her for 2 minutes here and 3 minutes there, and then you put in these things and you have her off ball and all that garbage, it's not happening. I've watched her play for years, and when she ran the team and it was just running and finding things and hitting the passes and they were adaptable, her teams excelled. She took Iowa, for the love of Pete, she took Iowa to the national championship games twice. Everybody says, well, she didn't win one. She was playing with Iowa with a bunch of 2 and 3 stars, essentially. And she was able to do that, and she elevated them. She elevates the whole team. That's what she does. She elevated your damn league. She got you paid more immediately. You guys are traveling out on charter flights now and everything like that. That wasn't because of Angel Reese. It's not because of anybody else. It's because of Caitlyn flippin' Clark. God, you guys are just dumb. Anyway, I'm sitting here watching this stuff go down, and I can't stomach watching the Fever anymore. I'm not going to watch the game tonight until I know she's playing a full game. And then if the first full game she plays and I watch it and it continues to be this Stephanie White basketball, I'm probably done watching them. I just watch highlights on somebody that puts them out there, because I'm not going to sit there and watch generational talent. Yeah, you say that, you pay it lip service, White, but you don't apparently mean it, because why would you take a generational talent and then be personally responsible for destroying it and turning it into mediocrity? Because that's what you're doing. Because you want to keep all these other girls happy. Oh, we got to feel the love and we got to share it around. This is not a collective. You're in a business. It's a business model. And how do you elevate all of them? Is you elevate your star and you get excitement and you get people watching it. But I'm telling you, those of us who watch Iowa Hawkeye women's basketball and grew up watching Caitlyn Clark, and the people that were attracted to that brand, which was millions, by the way, millions. I'm not talking 3,000 that can put 10% asses in seats at some big arena. Millions of people around not just around the United States. There was people from around the world that tuned in for this whole Caitlyn Clark phenomenon. They started following her, but they're not picking up on the WNBA. You may be seeing a temporary blip, but it's just going to fade into irrelevance again. That's where you're heading with this. I mean, I was all in. Me and my wife and a bunch of people we know, right? And then you can go on and just watch these people. People started blogs and all these YouTube stations and stuff like that, and they were focusing on Caitlyn Clark and the Indiana Fever, and they were becoming fans. And it wasn't because you have this brilliant product. You had the potential for a brilliant product, and you're crushing it. And so now these games are unwatchable. It is horribly boring ball. I mean, for the love of Pete. Kelsey Mitchell dribble, and then hero ball. Who cares? It's just stupid. Oh God, it's just painful to watch, guys. I can't watch it. You're destroying her career. Caitlyn ought to be suing your asses. It's and I don't know if you've gotten in her head and got her convinced that her role should just be to shut up and show up so people will put some butts in the seats and people will start watching television in the hopes she has a good game. I haven't seen her play a lights out game in a couple months, probably. Right? It's looking like it's going to be the same as last year now, where you get middle-class families investing thousands of dollars to take their girls and a group of girls or whatever like that, and they travel across the country and they go into Indianapolis and they get a hotel room for a couple days and they pump money into your community, and they're doing all this and they're taking their kids and grandkids, and I've seen the reports of it, and we were at the game here a couple of weeks ago, me and my wife, and we just needed a break from where we're living, so we just went there, even though we knew Caitlyn wasn't going to play a couple days ahead of advance, and we had paid a ridiculous amount because there was some big volleyball thing going on, USA Volleyball going on, so we paid a ridiculous amount because I wanted to go see Caitlyn play, so we had bought these tickets months ago. And so we paid an elevated price, and we paid a hell of an elevated price for our hotel room in downtown Indy. But we went anyway just because we needed it out of town. But we seriously talked about just not going. And we were there, and there were all sorts of little girls running around, and teenage girls and grown people walking around. And what are they wearing? They're wearing Caitlyn Clark jerseys, and she wasn't there to play. And I heard a lot of people, there's a lot of, just disgust with it. And now it's just dragged on, and it turns out we're in for what we did last year, and the Fever organization. That's why I'm saying, if she isn't hurt, freaking play her. She wants to play. She can't get in a rhythm. She's starting to show. Caitlyn Clark used to just smile. She loved playing basketball, and I haven't seen that in her for 2 years, and it's got to be because of Stephanie White and your dipshit organization who's destroying it. For my God, Herb Simon, step in. Kelly Kroskoff, Amber Cox. They haven't stepped up to defend her once. Not in any meaningful way. They're not pushing hard. They're not making public statements, all this. All they're doing is defending the thugs that are beating her up. That's all they're doing. The same thing with Stephanie White. What kind of agenda is going on here where you're willing to destroy somebody that's absolutely phenomenal and doing worlds of good for your whole organization and everybody in it? She's never once badmouthed anybody. Not one time. Of course, all the other idiots, including this whore Angel Reese, will come out and badmouth her like it's all about me. It's not just about her. No, it is about her. You moron. Pay attention. The only reason you got anything was because you were in the same shot with her acting like a damn fool. You're a whore. That's what you do. You dress up like a whore and you parade around and you want people to watch you, and then you complain when it's like, oh, they're sexualizing me. Well, yeah, you're doing it to yourself, you bozo. Stop it. My God. And Asia Wilson, I didn't even know who she was until I started paying attention to the Fever and all this kind of stuff. She might be a dominant player, but boring as hell to watch. I mean, I'm not a basketball fan first by any means. I mean, that's probably part of the reason for it, and I'll admit that openly. But I don't see a whole lot of other people tuning in to watch the Aces because Asia Wilson's playing. Who cares? I don't, and most people don't. Get over it. Now, however, if you guys treated this whole Caitlyn Clark phenomenon correctly, you guys, how did you not see this coming? Oh my God. But, so, let's say she is injured, but you guys are worried about, you got to get asses and seats and eyeballs on the thing, so you're just going to keep playing her a little bit, and you're going to time manage her and do all this kind of stuff. Well, you know what you're going to do? You're going to eventually wear people's give a shit out. You've already done that to me. I'm not going to watch these games anymore. I'll watch the highlights and see if she had a good shot or two or something like that, see what her stats are. But I sure as hell ain't tuning in. Our WNBA subscription, right? I'm canceling that. Why the hell would I keep watching it? I will run it through this year because I believe in committing to whatever like that. Next year, I'm not going to be committed to this. Screw you guys. Earn me back, but you've lost me and probably a lot of other people. I'm canceling out whatever pages I've signed up to for the Fever and for the WNBA. To hell with that. And I hope a lot of people do this. And eventually, over time, you're going to start figuring out people get bored with the product because you guys have nothing of interest for anybody. You're a worthless league with stupid ownership. For Christ's sakes, pull your heads out of your ass. And Adam Silver, you're the one person that can probably do something about this, but you sit back and you don't give a shit. I think you just want, as long as the WNBA is there, there's that NBA stamp that carries on throughout the summer. But I see you got some summer league stuff going on. It's probably going to make you a hell of a lot more profit than the WNBA in a year or two. And I know it's not about profitability. It's about franchise values and stuff like this, but who cares? You guys had your opportunity. You're talking about it like we're going to elevate all these players and women's sports and all this stuff, but you're shitting down your leg with the one opportunity you had. It was the golden goose. It was right there for you guys to take, and you're destroying it. And I don't know if you're just too stupid to realize you're doing this, or if you legitimately just don't care. That nope, it's about this. It's about empowering black lesbians or whatever the hell you're trying to do. It's a shame. I hope Caitlyn gets out of it. I'm sick of watching it. I'm done watching it until I know, and there's going to be proof. I'm not going to tune in because the first game Caitlyn's going to be back. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm done. I'll watch on these other guys that track it out there, like, you know, you got Rudy and Larry Rhodes and Venom and Mick and Rachel Demita and everybody else that's doing it that I watch. But I'm done watching the games, and I'm done spending a dime on any Indiana Fever or WNBA crap, because I'm not an Indiana Fever fan. I'm not a WNBA fan. I am a Caitlyn Clark fan and a Sophie Cunningham fan and a Lexi Hull fan, a Leah Boston fan. For the most part, I can, because they play that two-person game really well, and I love watching when they're together. But I won't follow Leah after that. Yeah, Maisha Hines-Allen, I love her. I'll probably follow her because she's actually physically stood up. Her and Sophie Cunningham have physically stood up for Caitlyn when nobody else would, including leadership and Stephanie White. Jesus, you suck. I started researching your history as a coach. You suck. You're no good at what you do. Quit. I mean, she moves over to the Indiana Fever last year for, you know, she steps down from the Connecticut Sun job to go back, and then she shows up, and then she misses half the year for personal reasons, whatever the hell has. You're a professional coach. If you had personal shit going on, you should have waited another year, right? And stuff. I've never seen any professional business run like a chuck a bucket full of jickle dicks. That's what you're doing. You just Herb Simon, you need to grow a set and tell these ladies to get the hell out. You're bringing in somebody who's going to run it like a business and start marketing and making it good, because that is the tide that's going to rise all boats across the whole league, but you guys are letting it sink. And someday it's going to look back and they're going to blame the failure and demise of the WNBA and maybe women's sports as a freaking whole, because you're the ones that are on the forefront of it right now. And if it all tanks, it's going to be your guys' name attached to it because you're such a bunch of dumbasses. Oh, God, Papa Todd takes. I'm Papa Todd. I'm out. Keep thinking for yourselves, folks.